let us begin this series of lecture on the Saga of the Soul, and we are studying now the philosophies. And today we will be studying the Yoga philosophy, very interesting. So before that, let us chant from here. Om Bang Me Manasi Pratisthita. May my speech be fixed in the mind. Mano me Vachi Pratisthitam. May my mind be fixed in the speech. Aviravirima edi Vedasya ma Anisthaha. O Atman, do thou manifest thyself unto me. May my mind and speech be fit to reveal the knowledge. Ritam vadeshyami. The right will I speak. Satyam vadeshyami. The truth will I speak. Tanmam abatu. May Brahman protect me. Tad bhaktaram abatu. May Brahman protect the preceptor. Om Shanti. 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 Hari Om. Peace, peace, peace unto all. The whole idea of religion is peace, happiness, and that is possible by understanding and practicing. What to understand? That we are not this body-mind complex. We are self. That is in every philosophy and all in the Hindu religion, they always in different way say like that, teaches like that. And how to reach to that, there we differ. Now the different philosophy, they are giving different type of paths, and today we will study the Yoga philosophy. The Yoga philosophy is an invaluable gift of India to all humanity. That is true. It is so practical. The Yoga philosophy, now theories, all people are giving the theories. And then different type of people, different type of religion, they are giving us different paths to follow. The Yoga is very, very categorically giving you the whole picture. Where is the problem? What actually we should do and how to do. That we will study. The word yoga is having two meanings. One is yukta. Yukta means united. Another is concentration. But the both are meaning are the same, because unless and until you are concentrated, your mind is focused, you can never be united with God. So yoga means that. The word yoga we find in different scriptures. Mainly we find it in the Rig Veda, the most ancient scripture, Katha Upanishad, very famous Upanishad, and Shatar Upanishad. Here the word yoga has come. The origin of the science of yoga is ascribed to Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is the firstborn, and he is nothing but God. So firstborn is the Hiranyagarbha. And different names we already discussed. That is the problem. They always uses different type of terminologies, names, but the same thing. So people are a little confused. Sometimes they say chitta, again we will study that, chitta and the mind too. Here they say the Atma, it means the soul, the self, and again the Atma means mind. So according to the context we have to understand, here the Hiranyagarbha is the firstborn, that when the God, the supreme God, which is Brahman according to the Advaita Vedanta, and Advaita Vedanta of course do not accept the creation at all. So that is a different thing. I won't take you to that confusion. So one after another we will go. In the yoga they say the first is the Hiranyagarbha, and from the Hiranyagarbha comes Sanat Kumar, a great sage. They say that Sanat Kumar also, he described this yoga. But in the present day, and ultimately all they accept that it is the Patanjali Rishi, is the 200 years before Christ, he actually formulated Yoga Sutra. Patanjali, like the ancient tradition of India, gave everything in sutra form, Yoga Sutra. Sutra means the thread. They give only, I was showing him this much. You couldn't understand what is that. That is the sutra. Actually, last night I told him that we have published one magazine. We always, every 3 months we publish. I like to show it to you and request you to go to that. So when I showed it like this, he understood, brought this, sutra. But to understand the sutra, the hint, you should have the knowledge. And here in this case, to understand the hint, we need the explanation. So we got that is the wonderful, that's the philosophy of the sutras. The statement within a minimum of letters, that's called sutra. And there we find so many. In this particular book, the Yoga Sutra, it is 195 numbers, 195 sutras. And that has been divided into 4 chapters. One is Samadhipada. The first Samadhipada, 51 sutras. Then Sadhanapada, Pada means the chapter, Adhyaya. The Samadhipada 51, Sadhanapada 55, then Vibhuti-pada is 55, and lastly Kaivalya-pada 34 sutras. This Kaivalya is the last goal. So 55, 51, 55, 55 and 34 and total 195, this is the total Yoga Sutra, and so famous. Will you believe over that so many people, I have only taken a few names, very famous names, who have written commentaries on that. The first is Vyasa, the Vyasa Bhashya. Bhashya means explanation. We all sometimes say Sri Ramakrishna is the Sutra and Swami Vivekananda is the Bhashya. The Bhashya means is the explanation. This explanation when we are giving, that means you must understand everything. You must know and realize, then only you can explain. So this is the Bhashya, but this Vyasa is not the Vyasa who has segregated the Veda. It is not Veda Vyasa. He is the 4th century saint. He written this explanation on the Vyasa. It's called Vyasa Bhasya. Then Vachaspati Misra is a very famous Vachaspati Misra. He has also written the commentaries explaining the sutras. This is in 8th century. Then Vijnana Bhikshu, his name is Vijnana Bhikshu, is a 16th century saint. He has also given the explanation. And the 19th century, a very famous man, he is Hariharananda, and some say Harihara Aranya. Aranya, you know, Dasanami Sampradaya, Puri, Giri, Aranya, that is, he is Aranya. We are Puri Sampradaya. Ramakrishna, he got the initiation from Totapuri. So that is the Dasanami Sampradaya, Puri Sampradaya. And then it comes like that. One Swami, he went to a traditional ashrama. Usually Ramakrishna Mission, we don't use that, Puri. Ishatmananda Puri, I am supposed to say. So we don't use, we just simply say Ishatmananda. And he went to a traditional ashrama in Himalaya, and they asked, hey, what is your name? He said, Ananda. He said, Puri kahan gaya? Kha liya? That is, Puri means that you are supposed to be Puri, Ramakrishna Puri, so you are all Puri Sampradaya. So he was a young Swami, so they joked like that. So this is the Sampradaya is Aranya, and Hariharananda Aranya is a 19th century saint. And then very recently Swami Vivekananda, he has also given a wonderful commentary. So Tolstoy, after reading that, he said, I like to meet this person. So that was a wonderful explanation of Swami Vivekananda. We know the four yoga he explained, particularly his commentary is known as Raja Yoga. Vivekananda's commentary on this Patanjali Yoga Darshan, Patanjali Yoga Sutras is called Raja Yoga. Raja means the king, the highest, the best. He has explained so nicely. You know that here I gave 75 talks. It's a series over why we should meditate. That was the series. This is a series that is available. I mainly based on two, Hariharananda and Swami Vivekananda. These are the two over that I explained. The yoga philosophy is very closely associated with the Samkhya philosophy. We will be studying Samkhya philosophy afterwards. So Samkhya philosophy, they say the Samkhya and yoga are the same philosophy. One is theory, another is practice. So theoretical is the Samkhya, and practical aspect of the same system, yoga. Samkhya is theory and yoga is practice. Now, like Samkhya, yoga epistemology, they also say like this, pramana. Epistemology means pramana. As always, you know that regular attendance, you know that those who are attending regularly, philosophy means three things. Three questions you have to answer. What is that?
God, man, and relation.
Not God. Creator.
Universe and relation.
Creator, creation, and the relation. So these are the three answers to be given. The creator, creation, and what is the relation between these? Now this world, who created? Over that only. The Samkhya, he says, the only through these three we can understand the reality. What is that? They say that is called epistemology, pramanas. First is perception, pratyaksha. Everyone, they say, pratyaksha. Vedanta says aparaksha. Pratyaksha, and they go much higher. Pratyaksha means I see with the help of my eyes. The eyes may be not so good, I may see something else. I touch with my skin. It may not. Sometimes the doctors are touching the skin, whether it is numb here or not. Sometimes it happens in the body. So we are using our senses that may not give you the perfect knowledge. So the perception may be there, pratyaksha is there, but Vedanta says aparaksha. That means without the help of anything direct, in that realization comes. When somebody you know likes you and loves you, you feel in the heart that somebody will come and tell, hey, he likes you. Is it? Then I like, not like that. Or otherwise, every time he is bringing some gift, so I am thinking he loves me. Not like that. Pratyaksha. This aparaksha anubhuti. Here it says pratyaksha, direct perception, inference, anumana. We know that inference, in different, they also say anumana. It is happening like this, that means it is this. So anumana. And scriptural testimony, that is called shabda. The Shabda means those who have already realized when they something, that is called Shabda. Now we go to the doctor and they explain. So this is the thing that these are the medicine I am giving you. So we believe him. But recently I was reading in a newspaper, Indian newspaper, there are 500 doctors who are not at all doctors, simply the fake doctors. And not only that, they are going and giving lectures also. So suppose you go to that doctor, what will happen? So Shabda is also difficult. Unless and until you are knowing, that's why Shankaracharya said, 3 things are very difficult. Manushyatva, Mumukshutva, Mahapurusha Samastraya. To get a really knowledgeable person and Mahapurusha is very, very difficult. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna was also telling that some people will be telling in different way, explaining, oh, God is dry, we have to make him the soft by our love. And God is dry? So he doesn't know anything, no conception. So this way, this is also very important, Anumana and ultimately scripture. So we go to the original, Veda, Upanishad, these are the original, Gita. So these are the original source, we go to that. So like the Samkhya, Yoga also accept these 3, Pratyaksha, Anumana and Pramana as a Shabda. Pratyaksha as a Pramana. Then like the Shankas also, metaphysical thing, they say all these things that you see is the combination of 4 tattvas. The 24 tattvas, 24 principles, that's all. We will explain that in details in the Samkhya, because that is the main Samkhya philosophy. But unlike the Samkhya, Yoga says there is God. Samkhya do not. We can't say that they don't believe in God, they have not explained about God. Because they say we could, by these 2, the Purusha and Prakriti, we have already analyzed everything. Why we need a 3rd one to explain how this thing came? So Purusha and Prakriti is sufficient. So they never denied the existence of God, but at the same time, they have not ascertained there is God. But the Yoga says God is there. So the Ishvara, they say, Ishvara Pranidhanatva, one of the sutras. You like to control your mind, there are different processes are there. One of that is concentrating your mind on the Ishvara or God. That is way there. Now the goal of the yoga, what is the goal? After practicing all these, what we are going to achieve? They say yoga's ultimate goal, like all other Indian system, is liberation, the mukti. Now direct knowledge of the self, which is completely different from the physical world, including our body and mind and ego, that is the knowledge. Liberation is possible how? By understanding that there is a self which is completely different from this manifested world, including my body, mind and ego, I consciousness. Ego is I consciousness. So it is beyond this, above this is the self. This is the first thing, that is the lakshya, that is the goal we have to go. Realization of self, which is free, which is immortal spirit, which is above sin and suffering, which is beyond death and destruction, freedom from pain and misery, that state is known as mukti, liberation. So no pair, it's only one, and that is bliss. The Shankar philosophy and the Vedanta philosophy, all they will say that ultimate goal is there. To achieve this liberation, yoga prescribed a very clear and practical method of purification and concentration following which the jiva means the individual self, will realize the self's distinction from the body and the mind. Now there is the Purusha, Prakriti and Ishvara. Samkhya says only Purusha and Prakriti. What is the Purusha? The self. And this self, it is consciousness. And the Prakriti is all other things which is not conscious, of all Prakriti. In details we will discuss when we will talk about the Samkhya. Now here it says Purusha, Prakriti and also Ishvara. These are the three. Now our concern is Purusha and the Prakriti. The Purusha, the jiva, individual self, in reality is free spirit. The self is completely free. The Vedanta, when you will study, you will see that it says, what is Ishvara? The consciousness reflected on Maya, the total ignorance. And what is Jiva? Consciousness reflected on ego, individual ignorance. So it's both the same. If you remove that Maya and if you remove the ego, what remains? Only consciousness. That means this Jiva and the Ishvara are the same. That is why Swami Vivekananda said, each soul is potentially divine. Potentiality is there. Only thing you remove, that's all. And to remove that, life after life goes. And the Jiva got associated with the gross body and with the subtle body. Now we have this physical gross body and the subtle body, and subtle body means the senses and the mind, manas, and the ego and the intellect. Mon, buddhi, chitta, ahamkar, the whole thing. At the same time, the senses, chakshu, karna, nashika, jiva, tok, the back of that. So that is the called subtle body. When we die, what happens? That subtle body that collects the everything and then go away somewhere. How it collects? Because the impression is on the mind. And the mind, that goes out. That's why sometimes some people, they like to commit suicide. Most of the people, they commit suicide because they are suffering. But the suffering is not in the body, suffering is in the mind only. Where is the suffering? That we have to understand. Suffering in the mind, not in the body. Body is only reflecting, that's all. But if that suffering, that mind, all those impressions goes out after my death, after I leave the body, all those things remain as it is. So that is the, they say, all this, why it is, the self which is conscious is associated with the gross body and the subtle body. How it is possible? One answer, ignorance, ajnana. That's why about the Guru they say, ajnana timirandhasya, jnananjala salakaya, chakshu unmilitam yena, tashmai sri gurave namaha. Who is a Guru? Guru is he who is removing all the ignorance and then giving me the light of knowledge. That is the Guru. Yoga philosophy says it goes to one, chitta. Yoga is very, very intelligent. It is not discussing about anything. All this external thing you need not to bother about. Only one point, concentrate on one thing. What is that? Chitta. This chitta, the mind, is the first product of Prakriti. The Prakriti who is creating, that's why the Kali, what is the goddess Kali? Prakriti. Why the Kali is having the women form, the mother form? Because creation. So that is the reason they in different form they say this is the Shakti, then Prakriti. Prakriti is the terminology of the Sankhya. And here, Yoga using that, they say the first product of Prakriti is mind. Otherwise, how the creation will come? Unless and until you have a thought, how can you create? The first is the thought. So the chitta, the mind, is the first product of Prakriti. Second, being close to the self consciousness reflects on it, the mind. And we think mind is conscious. Majority of the Western this philosophy, they conclude in this: mind is consciousness. Mind is not conscious. Mind can never be conscious. Now there are so many arguments. Why? The consciousness must be always the same. It cannot vary. The mind is varying. Sometimes I am happy, sometimes I am not happy, sometimes the tension, sometimes not. So it goes on in this way. So the mind also. So it says mind is the first product of the Prakriti. It is very close to the consciousness and getting the reflection of the consciousness. So we are mistaking that it is also consciousness. When chitta, the minds, get related with any object, so through the jnana indriyas, it seems as though self is affected. So that is the main thing. Now we have to understand again. Now I have a self which is not at all related to anything. But somehow, by mistake, I am thinking I am related. So when I see that somebody is suffering, how I see? Through my eyes and eye hearing, all the senses. Sense organs bring the report. Where? To the mind. And mind reacts. Oh, it should not be like this. So I am suffering or I am happy. So these two things are happening, and we think the self is actually doing this. No, it is different. So we have to keep in mind always, it is so much reflected as if it is doing. They will be giving a wonderful example afterwards. Chittas, the mind stuff. Chittas, again, when you say the mind in English is only one. But when we say mind in Sanskrit, mana, translated as mind, it is not the same meaning as the English meaning. Mana means that particular portion of the mind which is confused, cannot take decision. That is mana. So sankalpa and vikalpa, atmika, it's just moving like this. Shall I or shall I not? Sankalpa, vikalpa, atmika. That is mana. See how deep they go. And sometimes we are really confused. Shall I go or shall I not? Shall I take it or shall I not? It goes on in this way. So that is called sankalpa and vikalpa atmika, mana. And here they are not using the word mind, they are using the word chitta. And again there is another part of the mind that decides. There is buddhi, nishchayatmika buddhi. And then third is holding in the stock all the impressions that is coming, all that is we call usually chitta. That is the repository, the storehouse of all the impressions. But behind all these things, the main force, ego, I consciousness. Even the I consciousness, when I am thinking that is the I, the consciousness, it is also not real. Again, at the back of that, there is real self, which is reflected on the I. So I think I am. So the reflection is coming from there. Everything is there. Now so many things are going on, the fan, the TV, the light and microphone. We do not know. At the back of all this, there must be a generator which is producing the electricity and sending it. So like that, we are only thinking this light, that fan, this one, that one, all external thing, accepting that as the main source. No, it's the electricity. What is that? Atman. Where it is, we have to search. As here we do not know exactly where the generator, similarly, the same source of that, if we can go to the source, then there is no problem. That is why again and again they say, go back to God. What is that God? Is the source. Here we find the Chitta. Chitta's modifications or the cognitive mental state are grouped as 5. Again they have given in this way. What is that? First is true cognition, pramana. Then second is viparjaya, wrong knowledge. And third is vikalpa. Vikalpa is a verbal. Somebody says something and we understand in that way. Some say Rahu's head. Rahu in the Indian mythology, the Rahu is the only demon who could taste the what's called that nectar, Amrit. When the nectar came, this is the only story. When the nectar came, God took the help of the demons to get it, but they were not ready to share it. Why? Then the demons all will be immortal. If you take the drink, that immediately you will be immortal. So they were deceiving them. The gods, the very intelligent people, they were deceiving the Asuras. One of the Asuras noticed, and he somehow came and took a sip. It went up to the throat. Immediately the Indra or the Vishnu noticed it and cut the head. Up to the throat, it became immortal, but body perished. So that is why the Rahu, because it was pointed by Chandra. So that is why Chandra, the moon god, the Rahu is angry with the moon. If moon has not reported, so that's why every time it tries to, he cannot fight with the hands, there is no hand or leg, so he wants to bite the moon. And moon always move and Rahu always chase the moon. It goes on every time in the celestial world. Suppose they say Rahu's head. Rahu has only the head, he has not body. So this is a confusing word. Rahu's head means what? It is the Rahu only. So similarly, when they say the self is conscious, another wrong. I am giving the example. Self is conscious already. If we say the self is conscious, there is no other thing. If you say self, it is consciousness. If you say consciousness, it is self. So this is there, this is called vikalpa. Then nitra and the smriti. When chitta or the mind is modified into any kind of vritti, vritti means a modification. In the mind, and wave is coming. What is that wave? That this is that, all these waves are coming. That is called vritti. If you close your eyes and observe your mind, what is the mind? So many thoughts after thoughts. Sometimes the thoughts will be mostly the elderly people. They always think about their younger days. When we were there, it used to be that and that. The more you are old, the more the younger days you remember. Then the mother, then the father, then the brother, then the friends, all they come. Why? Because of this, that mind goes back into that. Modification, that's called vritti. But you are not doing anything. Quietly sitting over here, closing your eyes, and I have seen a gentleman comes over here for 1 or 2 hours, he will be sitting quietly, closing his eyes. Suppose he is concentrating completely on God on that whole 2 hours, sufficient for mukti. But when you are not, then what happens? They say the vritti means cognitive mental state of self appears to be connected because of the reflection. It goes as if 5 afflictions are there. Now in the vritti again, there are 5. Is avidya, wrong knowledge. That is the main root. Wrong knowledge. Temporary, we are accepting the temporary thing as permanent. Always, every time. You will see that some people, and the kings after kings, in the history if you go, they will always go and capture, I am the supreme king, everybody should remember me. The poor man, Alexander, I always think, oh my God, he couldn't do anything. He went all the way from Macedonia to India, he could not come back. And he was conquering after conquering, he was killing thousands and thousands. After that, what? Nothing. People said he is a great hero. How? He killed so many people. So that is the hero, the great Alexander. But actually, if you look at his life, he was all the time on his horseback and living in the tent. And he's, maybe, I don't know, if he was having a beautiful palace, somebody else was living there. And every morning, over a cup of coffee, I am just adding, I don't know, maybe they were inquiring, where is Alexander now? Acha, he is fighting over there. Oh, that is very scorching sun. Let the poor fellow do that. And whatever he is earning, send it quickly over here. Is that the life? We are constantly thinking. The great Alexander also could not think that this is temporary. I am happy with whatever I am having. Let me make each and every one who is with me happy. Give them education, give them other comforts, and that way let all us be happy. I cannot serve the whole world. I cannot conquer the whole world. It's not possible. No. Why? Why a person like him? He was so intelligent, so determined, so strong physically and mentally. How he could not? Avidya. Our Pandit will say it is avidya. So avidya, antari, vartamana, they will say, is a wrong knowledge that is in your heart and that you are going, it is of no use. Asmita means false notion. Asmita is the false notion. That is thinking the self as the buddhi. Sometimes some people will say, oh, we cannot, our self wants to eat it or to drink it. I should not deceive myself. This is self. Self don't eat or drink or do anything. But we are thinking in that way and we are telling asmita, false notion, raga, desire for the pleasure, that's called raga. And desha, when that is not achieved, then the anger comes, that is called desha. Then finally a wonderful thing, abhinivesha, that is the fear of death. That is also why I am afraid to die, because I am the self only. What I am going to change? Only this body. And how? In the Bhagavad Gita they say, just as the old garment I am changing, similarly. Why we are thinking in this way? But see, thousands of people are making this mistake, the abhinivesha, the fear of death. All around if you see, and then quietly if you observe all the information that is happening in the human society all around, what is it? Fear, fear of death, fear of losing, fear of everything. If somebody is singing very well, and then someday suddenly he or she hears that somebody else is singing better than him or her, immediately, oh my God, what will happen? I am going to lose my market. Someday or other you will lose the market, of course. How long you will sing? It's not possible. The fear of death. See how they have observed. Yoga means constantly analyzing the mind. And they will be quietly sitting and observing and noting down, just like the scientist. They will be observing and noting down. All the notes are there. And then they will analyze and publish the report. This is the report. We have applied this thing on 2,000 people and the reflection is this, result is this. Here also, they will be constantly observing thousands of people's mind. Why the man, he was all right, behaving like this. Then they will analyze, oh, these are the things, that's why he is behaving. That way, they have reached to only 5 things. Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha, the fear of death. So that is why then the first thing, daiva sampad, If you are practicing spirituality, the first thing that will come to you, that is Daiva Sampad, fearlessness. You are sure that I am the self. There are many people who are fearless. The only, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, if 2-3 people, they killed so many innocent people, they are fearless. They knew that they were going to die. But not that fearlessness. This is all, and again, another ignorance. Here the fearless means knowledge that I am not going to die because I am the self. That is the main thing. Second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita talk about this self again and again. Here the very first step to go beyond this, the fearlessness. I was in Arunachal Pradesh, then I received a phone call. Many of you, those who keep the information about India, you know, in particularly the northeastern, there's so many groups of, they call underground. They're fighting with the government and all. How they will fight? They need money. So wherever it is possible, they go and threat. So one phone call came. I was in my office over there in the school office, and he said, "Hey, I am so and so. I am the lieutenant of Naga force." Immediately I understood the lieutenant of Naga. Who is that? But I started talking with him in a very innocent way. I told, "Naga force? Oh, that is very good. The lieutenant, I know the lieutenant meant 2-3 lieutenants over here. That is Indian military. We are different." And when the Nagas have developed separate thing, no, you don't understand anything. We are so and so. Then he was going on telling. I told, okay, you are those people. Achha, what to do? How can I help you? Whatever money that you are having, I know that you are having crores of rupees, you have to give to me. I told, I am not having anything. It's all in the ashram only. And they are having lot of money, but that is in the bank. I can't give it to you. Then I will kill you, he said. I told, "Oh, that will be a great favor if you really kill me. Because all these things that is happening in my life only because I am living. Suppose you come and kill, all problems will be solved. But only one request. Please tell me when you are coming to kill. I will go and sit in the shrine, keeping my head at the feet of my God. You come and kill me. And your purpose will be solved, my purpose will be solved. At least this favor, I think you will do." He was thoroughly confused. "Hey, you are not afraid of death?" And perhaps you don't know, the Hindu sannyasis are already dead. And before getting the sannyasa, we give all the final rites. We have already done it. Complete. That's why we are not supposed to tell about our past life. Who is your father? Who is your mother? Where you born? Every time people ask, we are not supposed to. Because we are dead. But then again, we have taken the new life. Sadyajata Shiva. After the sannyasa, they say, you are a newborn Shiva. Shiva means auspicious. So you are auspicious, newborn auspicious. So no new name. So when I told, someday if you come, I can explain the monastics. He told, how can I come? He became really soft. How can I come? Can you come to so and that hotel? I am staying in that hotel. See, he disclosed his identity and told that. I told, we don't go to hotels because the people, there are people maybe taking the wine and all those things. I don't go to any hotel. Rather, by the side of that, we have an ashrama. If you come to that ashrama, I don't go to ashrama, he said. I'm a Christian. I said, okay, what is there? I can go to any church. You can come to church. We can meet. I'm interested to see you. Like this was going on. How it was possible? He came to see me secretly. Afterwards, the police IB, they reported, he's a dreaded person. Everybody is afraid of him. How could he do that? Because truly, I was not afraid at all. Again I will come, take birth. Again I will go to Ramakrishna Mission and become a brahmachari. Again I will come to Chicago and give lecture. Someday. So that only, so there is no problem. Only this body which has already become old and so many ailments, let it go, no problem. Some fresh body will come. So that is called fearlessness, avinivesha. You have to go beyond that. How can you go? It's not so easy. Even if you are trying to hit the ant, it will try to save it. The terrible life that the ant is living, even then, ant is very happy with that life. And if you try to kill it, immediately it will try to save or to bite or to fight. Why? Love for life. To go beyond that is the knowledge. And that is called going beyond the avinivesha. When I reported this to one of the Swamiji who was in charge that time in the Belur Math, the Swamiji, the phone call came, they have threatened that they may come and kill. He told, is it? Oh, then you will be the second martyr for the cause of Vedanta. He was so happy, I'm the second martyr. Why you are inspiring me to do that? Why don't you come over here? I'll be happy to go and stay in the Belur Math. No, we will pray for you. But so this is how they think. So this way, every time we have to take the step. How? Friends, now the chitta, vritti, nirodha, one sentence, wonderful thing. The whole yoga means what? Only one sentence. Chitta, about which we were discussing, that is the repository of everything, the mind, the consciousness and all. Consciousness means that way, reflected consciousness. That is called chitta, vritti. All that we have done already, thought already, has come, that has become vritti, it is floating. Nirodha we have to control. That's all. And nothing else. All other things that we see is nothing but the external. Only chitta, vritti, nirodha. Easiest way, our what's called Tantra Shastra, they have developed the easiest way is the mantra japa. If you are going on repeating the name of God, you can control that. Your vrittis will be controlled by repeating the name of mantra, and not only repetition, also meditation. If you are thinking about God, at the same time going on repeating the name of God, and there is no other flow of thoughts, then what happens? Vrittis will be weakened and it will die. Slowly. That's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, when any thought will perturb you, disturb you, go on chanting the name of God. And if possible, clapping your hands. Sing the name of God. If possible, with the clapping of hands. This kirtana, Vaishnavas, they practice the kirtana. Why? Same thing. They will be dancing with the kirtana, same name, Hare Krishna, that is the only one word. And they will go on dancing, repeating, why? Other thoughts won't come. Their mind will be tranquil and supposed to be. And if they are practicing in that way. And some people will go on reading books. Those who are following the path of knowledge, they will be reading books. Ashtavakra Samhita and these and that, so many books are there. Constantly thinking about the self. I am the self, I am the self, I am the self. I am not this body, I am not the mind. Do you remember when we used to chant that? Mano buddhi ahamkara chittani naham. That is the thing. I am not the mind, I am not the buddhi, I am not the chitta, I am the self, I am the self. So constantly practicing. So this is the condition of the mind. Now, again, they have analyzed the mind, condition of mind. What? They say the mind condition first is shipta, restless. That is basically the shipta, the restless mind. But our minds are not shiptas, though it is restless, but it is not that restless. The restlessness, if you go and see, you will find mostly those who are now completely insane, the mad people, restless people. They'll be going on talking in the same way or doing something oblivious about this surroundings, they don't know anything. Restless mind. That is also mind. That's also human mind. But at the same time, oh my God, what a poor condition. That's called Shipta. Shipta means restless. Then Moodha. Moodha means torpid. They can't understand. If you are talking 3 times, they'll be looking at you, can't understand things. That's called torpid, Moodha. So that is also a terrible condition of mind, human mind. And then comes Vikshipta, distracted. Majority of our mind in this condition, Vikshipta, distracted. We have come in the morning for meditation, suddenly I heard some sound, oh, our machines are working. And for a long time, all these lawn mowers were not working, so I got up and went and saw the lawn mowers are working, satisfied. Now things will be clean. That's called distracted. Then suddenly phone call came, oh, I was supposed to call. Or some smell came, oh, today morning they are preparing nice food. So like this, distracted all the time. That is the condition of normal people. That's called Vikshipta, distracted. Then a little higher, Ekagra. The Ekagra man is concentrated. You'll find Ekagrata, those who are doing the research, Ekagra, constantly putting their mind and soul on that. They have to develop something. The scientist, good scientist, so good students, constantly on that. They don't like to go here and there. The mind is constantly on that. That is called Ekagrata. Sometimes some people who are learning music, Ekagra, constantly practicing, and then they are coming up with that. Everything is Ekagrata. Sometimes some people are cooking so well, Ekagra. They know how much I should apply, they know when to apply, then only properly things will. Ekagrata. The Ekagrata we always practice, but for temporary, little. Then again we forget. So we live in this Vikshipta and Ekagrata, within these two. But the moment we can go to Ekagra, and then the final Niruddha, restrained, that mind, the same mind, my mind, under my control. And Buddha said, Lord Buddha said, I consider him the greatest hero who can control his mind. That is called Ekagrata. Our Swami Vivekananda, he went to meditate in Dakshinesha, full of mosquito there. And another person also followed him. He was a great person, Girish Chandra Ghosh. And he told, Naren, let us go and meditate. Well, okay. Both of them were sitting a little distance under the same tree where Sri Ramakrishna practiced meditation. Then after some time, Girish Ghosh told, oh, it is impossible to sit over here, so much of mosquito. So he got up and he went to see what condition of the Naren, a boy of 21, 22 years. Whole body was covered with the mosquitoes, as if it is covered with a blanket. No sense. That is called the Ekagra and Niruddha. That is called Niruddhata. This Niruddha mind, that becomes so powerful, whatever they like to do, they can do, anything. And sometimes we think, oh, that is supernatural power and all, nothing. The mind is the firstborn. Do you remember that? Mind is the firstborn. After the God, it is the mind. And when that mind is concentrated, and it is attaching with what? Yoga, yukta, yog. With what? Supreme mind. Then you know everything in this world. So obviously wherever you look, whatever you like to see, whatever you like to hear, everything you can hear. Most of the time you will read in the stories where Swami can hear the words of the birds. It's true, because his mind is attached with that. So similarly, he could see anything and everything that is happening. So that is Sri Ramakrishna. The moment he used to look at some person, immediately he could say, oh, he was in that group in the past life, and after death he will go over there. Everything is nothing so clear before him. So that is called, because of this niruddha, restrained condition. Now how to do that? Friends, I am not going to explain it because I have already explained in every details in the previous the talk, series of talk is a 75 talks, and it is in 3 CDs. If you like, you can get it from our bookstore. That starts with yama, then niyama, the 8 steps of the Yoga Sutra. To conclude, we can say, first is the mind. The mind is not conscious, but consciousness, that is the self, is reflected on the mind, and people think I am conscious, but it is not. And because of that, this wrong conception, that's called ajnana, because of that only we are suffering. Otherwise we are not supposed to, because we are completely, totally different. So this if we can do, how to? Then first is yama, you have to restrain, and the niyama, observances. Yama and niyama. Then asana, posture, that is very, very important. When you are sitting like closing your eyes and bending in the front side or back side, you cannot meditate. Asana is very important. And then pranayama, control of the vital currents. When you are running, you are gasping. When you are sleeping, you are so controlled. So that you have to control, and that oxygen is the most important thing in the human body. And if you can control that in your own way, so that is great. So they call pranayama. Then comes pratyahara. You have to withdraw your senses from the sense objects. Then dharana, you have to make it in one place, the dharana, concentration. Then dhyana, meditation. After that, samadhi. So samadhi, no one talks about. We always talk about the dhyana, the 7th step. That is very, very difficult to reach over there. How to practice dhyana? That is the common question everywhere. But the first should be what? To understand what is the problem. Problem is ignorance, and we are thinking that this is permanent. Why? Because the mind, and what is the mind? Reflection of the consciousness. And what is that consciousness? Completely beyond our body and mind. So how to reach over there? Again, come back to your body and mind and start controlling all the mind senses and all this that is going on, all this, it's called the reflections are going on, or the flows are going on. We have to control that, make it tranquil. The moment you make it tranquil, everything will be reflected. In the words of Swami Vivekananda, mind is just like a lake. There's a very clear water. But because of the air, all the time on the top of the lake, there are so many ripples are there, you cannot see the bottom of the lake. When there is no air, then the water will be tranquil, and you can look at the bottom of the lake. So that is called mind. Thank you very much, friends. And before I conclude, let me announce that every 3 months we are publishing this magazine, the e-zine. We publish 3 lectures and articles over here, and an editorial and an inspiring talk, inspiring things that one gentleman is doing this, one is that. That's the good things. We only hear about the negative things. We always try to give, that's called arise, awake and stop not. There's someone is doing wonderful things, giving education to the urchins. That is also here, and some other information. There's only $3 that is available, or also, if you don't like to purchase, it is available in our website. Let us chant the Shanti mantra and conclude. Om Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Harihi Om, Tat Sat. Tad means that, Brahman, Atman, consciousness, Sat is the truth. Tat Sat, that is only truth.